You know, there are some people who say that they've read 1,000 books and they are not able to tell you one. Semni. A guy can have read 1,000 books. He couldn't name one title of 1,000. Hey, I've read 1,000. One in 10 minutes of ranting. I've read 1,000. He couldn't name one. Really? I'm just hoping that in the future the media standards will be higher. Because some of these things, you wonder. A man comes and says, I'm being accused of not having read a book. Me, I've read 1,000. Which one? Which two? Which three? 0. Anyway, okay. Nobody was born reading, as I keep saying. You have to eschew laziness to be able to read because it's hard. When you grow, reading is very hard. So if you are lazy and you are gossipy, you will not find time to read. It's as simple as that. If you are serious and you want to perform the media job of information, entertaining, and educating, you will be able to read. But if you are lazy, you will not be able to read. So that's okay. Let me recommend these books. Now, this book is a very serious one. It's entitled The Dark Days in Ghana. I like this book, and I read it many years ago. I read it a few times. It's written by Nkrumah. And it's Nkrumah's sort of postulations on the analysis of the coup that overthrew him in 1966. Now, this part is the one that really struck me, the dedication of the book. It's kind of sad when you listen to the dedication, but it gave Ghanaians the opportunity to make a decision on what we do next, after. If Nkrumah didn't document Dark Days in Ghana, I believe that a lot of the content of Dark Days in Ghana formed part of the conversations of the Consultative Assembly that drew up the Second Republican Constitution that came after Nkrumah. This was the very sad part. So in dedication, Nkrumah said that he dedicates the book to Major General Bawa, Lieutenant S. Arthur, and Lieutenant Moses Yeboah, and all Ghanaians killed and injured, killed or injured whilst resisting the traitors of 24th February 1966. And when I first read it, I felt the pain of the Osajefo, but I also understood that it is a better way to go for us to look at the conversation. Now, the account goes further. If you read David Rooney's account, for instance, of Nkrumah's coup, for instance, if you read Austin and Rooney, Nkrumah believed that the coup had not succeeded, and that's why this dedication is really sad. He believed that the coup had not succeeded. When he was told that there's been a coup, he was with his foreign minister and all that. He believed the coup had not succeeded because the embassy in London, Nkrumah was not in London, he was in Asia. The embassy in London was in touch with General Bawa. Now, General Bawa was Nkrumah's most trusted general, and we celebrate General Bawa because of his unflinching loyalty to the president. Well, no, you can look at it different ways, but I celebrate General Bawa because of his unflinching loyalty to the president. And I also celebrate Ike Kotoka and Afrifa because of their dedication to constitutionalism and deciding that the way in which our 1964 constitution has become, we are getting into a one-party state and democracy is being undermined. The power of the people's choice is being undermined. So they will use the military to overthrow the government and set us up on a new constitution. Both are heroes. General Bawa, because of his unflinching loyalty to the president, we need soldiers to be loyal to the president, the sitting president, and we need them also to think. But hopefully, we will not get to that situation anymore in Ghana because based on what had happened, we have now been able to readjust. And we have written a constitution that does not allow any president to change the country into a one-party state, which was the fundamental reason why the coup occurred, because the choices to remove the Osajefo had been taken away from Ghanaians, and only a few people were enjoying the government, and it was a government to stay forever, that kind of thing. The same things we saw in Kenya, in Zambia, and all of those places, and these people resisted it. So, Osajefo broke down, according to the account of Dennis Austin, when he was told by the High Commission in London that General Bawa had been killed. And General Bawa was killed at Roman Ridge by the forces of Ike Kotoka, and that's why I said that both of them are heroes. Bawa was loyal to Osajefo till the end, and Ike Kotoka and Afrifa and others also moved in. Now let me tell you about the two lieutenants, S. Arthur and Lieutenant Yeboah. So Nkrumah wrote and said he dedicates it to Major General Bawa, Lieutenant S. Arthur, and Lieutenant Moses Yeboah, all Ghanaians who were killed resisting the traitors of 24th February. Now, I'll tell you about Arthur and Moses Yeboah. So they organized a counter coup in 1967, okay? They organized a counter coup, sort of reinstate the Osajefo, and a lot of conversations were going on with Guinea, Sekou Touré, and the Egyptians who all wanted Osajefo reinstated as president of Ghana to continue the African unism agenda. Now, Arthur and Yeboah had organized a coup that appeared to be successful. For those of you who know Bemakam, after they took over broadcasting and took over all of those places, very similar to the Ali Dujiwa event of 1983, for those who know military history, So Moses, Yeboah and Arthur went to sit at 5BN mess. 5BN mess these days, some people do events. There's way inside Burma Camp, Gonda Barracks, that far away there. Beautiful place. They sat at 5BN mess and they had a few pints of beer, celebrating the success of the coup and waiting to talk to their bosses so that Nkrumah is reinstated. That was 1967. It was there that they sat and they were gunned down by the revolutionaries who considered them dissidents. It was in that scuffle that Ike Kotoka was killed somewhere around the airport, and so the government decided to name the airport after Ike Kotoka, so we call it Kotoka International Airport. But Arthur and Moses Yeboah had organized the coup to reinstate Osajefo, and I think that also was very painful to Dr. Nkrumah, except that his dedication shows that he was aware that a counter coup was being organized for him. Quite clearly, he was aware. And he was also very pained. So when he lost General Bawa in the 66 event, they organized for a counter coup, which was successful. But the two young men, they must have been 23 or 24 because they were lieutenants. So they had been second lieutenant and then they had been lieutenants. So they had been in the army for 2-3 years as officers. In those days, after O-level, you do that. And they were reported to have been at Arakan Mess, 5BN Mess, when they lost control of the power that they believed they had gotten. And so Nkrumah dedicated this book to them as well. So we salute General Bawa, who was loyal to the Osajefo until the end. So that's Dark Days in Ghana. Is that the only thing we have in Dark Days in Ghana? Okay. So that's Dark Days in Ghana. It's written by Kwame Nkrumah. Is here. It's a beautiful book. I believe you can get one with Kofi Adom-Otchere. Write that name down. Kofi Adom-Otchere holds a lot of Nkrumah's book. Or you go to the Socialist Forum, Kwesi Pratt's Socialist Forum. They will have the Dark Days in Ghana. It's a book that every young person should read. It's Nkrumah's account of the events of 1966. Okay, let's go international now. All right, so this is about Dark Days in Ghana. At the back of the book, it says, Nkrumah, foremost exponent of African unity and socialism, never saw Ghana in isolation from the rest of Africa or from the rest of the world revolutionary struggle. In Dark Days in Ghana, Dr. Nkrumah exposed the true nature of the military police dictatorship that was established after the overthrow of Ghana's constitutional government on 24th February 1966, setting the event in the context of a wider continental and world situation. Dark Days in Ghana demolishes the big lie that Ghana had needed to be rescued from economic chaos. Nkrumah recounts the systemic sellout of Ghana's access to neo-colonialist interest by the military police junta and the subsequent reduction of Ghana from democratic statehood to the humiliating position of a neo-colony. So that Nkrumah had very strong views about neo-colonialism. He writes here very poignant, very emotional, and if you read it, you really get into the heart of the Osajefo when he writes about Dark Days in Ghana. So it's not one of the 1,000 books I've read, but you can read it too, yeah. All right. So Jeffrey Archer comes up with my favorite author, First Among Equals. I talked about it the other day. You should get it. Now, in First Among Equals, Archer talks about, as I said before, his own life is captured as one of the 3 protagonists in First Among Equals. I see 4 here. I'm not sure why, because there are 3 protagonists that he talks about. And this is the story. First Among Equals is a story Jeffrey Archer was born to write with his detailed political knowledge and past experience as a member of parliament. We follow the careers of 4 ambitious new MPs who take their seats at Westminster for the first time in the early 60s. All are high IS destined for great office. We watch their political struggles over 30 years in government and in opposition as their lives cross the battle for power. Raymond Gould, the Leeds grammar school boy born above a butcher's shop, stuck with a small town wife. Andrew Fraser, the son of a conservative Lord Provost who joins the Labour Party to capture his father's seat in Parliament. Simon Keslick, president of the Oxford Union, a career conservative backed by his doctor wife. Charles Seymour, the ruthless Tory landowner who will stop at nothing to reach number 10. Which one of these 4 men will become prime minister? It's an epic. And you will just enjoy the race to become prime minister from the 60s, and the story ends somewhere in the 80s. He mixes a true story with a bit of fiction, and it's an interesting book to read. So those are the 2 books that I recommend for you today. All right.